Hi everyone, I'm Annie Picard of of what?
The great land of
Yeah,
sounds like Game of
like a Game of
Thrones.
Thrones
Yeah.
reference. Yeah. Here to talk about social, empowering different social leaders, just folks who want to be creators or influencers, giving you the real background from a brand social perspective. And today I have GregToks on my
Really.
channel. He actually inspired me to be on TikTok, and he's had over, well, millions of views on his content. He's had a video that hit over 7 mil,
Yep.
which is really cool. And we are just going to talk a little bit about why TikTok is so different today than it was when we first started, and kind of like our experiences through the past 4 years.
I remember when I first started in March of 2020,
Yeah.
it was like height of the pandemic, like COVID had just really started. Well, not the height of the pandemic, but COVID had just really started. It was brand new. And I was kind of like hearing this about like Musically, but it just became TikTok. And I was like, what is this app? And all my friends were like, oh, that's like an app for, teenagers. Like, you don't, like, no one goes on that. I'm like, I think it's pretty funny. And I just started and exponentially grew year over year. And one of my focuses this year is to get back into it. But the landscape has changed, which I think we'll dive into today on our fireside chat here. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far, and I'm glad that I kind of let you know about it, and your channel blew up, and you connected with moms all over the world, and recalls, and product reviews, and just advice for new moms. So
How many followers would you get off of one video back in the day?
So back in the day, the algorithm was like completely different.
Yeah.
Well, the landscape was really different. You weren't really like influencers per se. There was just someone's dad cooking on a hibachi cooktop, and then there was GregToks, and I would do pop culture and videos of that sound. And then there were those trending sounds that every other video was like a sound, and then that would get people's creative juices flowing, and you would kind of do a video to that sound. And that's how people blew up. But to answer your question, I would post a video and it would go like, I could just literally see it like tripling. Like I'd post a video, it'd be like 500 views. And then I saw 1,500. And then I'm like, let me check in like an hour just for fun. Like I won't check in and I'll check in an hour. And it would be at like 15.5K. And I'm like, and I remember like texting you, being like, I think this one's like blowing up. Like, and it was not all of them hit, but it wasn't the days of like 200 views. Like you were getting so much more reach and engagement too.
Remember we used to text each other and be like, I can't believe that video didn't get 10K.
Yeah.
Like off the bat. It just kind of like shows, like you said, the landscape has changed like so much with TikTok, and it has become really difficult to grow a following because of how many users are on there. And I think there's a lot more influencers now.
Yeah.
Like they are completely eating up a lot of the reach. And there wasn't really any brands. So this is like circa brands. Even I think brands were afraid to be on TikTok at this point.
It wasn't
I
like
joined.
it wasn't kosher. Like it wasn't regulated, I guess you could
No.
say. I mean, all the brands were on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, now X. And it was kind of like this Wild West.
Yeah.
Like I remember the other day just like going through my page, like For You page, and I saw someone that I started following back in 2020 who was like huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that person fell off.
Right.
Because all these brands have come in, and it's so corporatized now. I don't know if that's a word, but it's, you got brands on there that are commenting on people's videos, and like then every other time you scroll, it's either like, we'll get into TikTok shop, but it's like sponsored, or it's just, that's the whole point of TikTok was anyone could be big on there.
Right.
It was like you could organically grow depending on what you like to do. Like your page focusing on families and new moms, and my page focusing on like pop culture and just like funny stuff. That was kind of like
You were doing like true crime for a little bit.
I did true crime for a little bit. I was all over the place. Like I was kind of like, I would do like the top earners for that year for celebrities. I would do true crime. Then I would go to comedy. Kind of like here and there. Did like a little bit of cooking. Like I was just trying to find like what I wanted to do.
You had like a really good mix on your channel, which is like one of my biggest tips if you're going to be like an influencer and stuff like that, or you want to be a content creator, or you just like enjoy creating content, like having different buckets really, and like you can go and create, and then you don't get like as much burnout because you have like so many things you can talk about on your channel.
Absolutely.
So I feel like you were doing that like really well. But to your point, like all of this stuff, like it was so different. There was like dances and everyone was just like having fun. And now it's like,
It's structured.
yeah,
And I
like
think,
this is my product review.
yeah.
This is my buy at my shop.
Or just like,
TikTok shop.
or just like, get ready with me.
Yeah.
It's like doing the makeup and like selling it. And that's fine. Like, I don't hate on anyone. Like, if you want to do your get ready, GRWMs, and like, talk about stories, like, I'm tuned in. I'm watching those while I'm like, getting ready for,
I'm still watching.
I have it on. I'm like, oh, I wonder what happened with this person in their weekend. Like, I'm tuned in. But I feel like TikTok has just become like immensely oversaturated. And I've spent the better half of like the last half a year, not too much time, but like trying to figure out the algorithm. And I can't figure it out. I remember, like, I'm sure you've done this before, where you're like, or anyone that's watching, like, that's going to be a dang it. Like, I can't wait to post this. Like, I'm going to wait until like 8 p.m. Like, I'm going to get lots of views. And then it's like, you go,
Yeah.
and the next day it's like 2 comments, one from you, one from my cousin, and it's like 500 views.
No, it literally happened to me this morning. And it is funny because I think one of the difficult times, and I actually like tell a lot of people about this, like, and it's like one of the things I took away from being on TikTok is that like you have to get past the fact that like you can create all this amazing content, it can be awesome, and it like won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's like half the battle. Like, how many times did we text each other being like, I'm done with TikTok. Like, this is what am I doing this for?
Yeah. So many
Right?
times. Yeah.
And like, I can't even tell you how many times I almost gave up because of that. And you too, you'd be like, that's it. Like, I only got 200 views. Like, I'm done with TikTok. I'm so done with it.
And I'm not saying that I'm done with it now. And but I think as of late, I mean, my last video was in March and it's June. So it's been a couple months. And it's not that I don't want to post. I just don't see any of the like trending sounds or anything that like was big back then for like my type of creator. I'm not the only type of creator that is big into that, like comedy skits, like sounds, not skits, but like, those 10-second, like almost Vine type of videos where there's a sound and then you use that and put it into a situation that is like relatable to people. And then they connect with it.
Yeah.
Like the Starbucks one that did 7 million views. Like, if there's not someone with a certain pronouns making my coffee, like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Like, that connected with people because it's like subconsciously, like, people experience that. That connected with people, and TikTok you had the ability to kind of push videos out like that. I really feel like it's just either Alex Earl, shout out Alex Earl, I like Alex Earl, no hate towards Alex Earl, all these other big creators with the blue check marks, or it's getting someone to buy me something, wanting me to buy something from China.
Yeah.
And it's like, where are like the Anna Picards or the Gregs or whoever that are just, at like 10K or 20K or however many followers?
Yeah. Well, to that point, I think what ends up happening when a social platform gets like really big is that like you start having people who are generating a lot of revenue for not only just the platform, but for brands. So they end up being favoritized in a way, and organic growth gets really difficult to like barrier to entry. So we're seeing that with TikTok now, where it's the barrier to entry is literally nowhere near it was like when we joined. Sure. And a lot of people are like, oh, should I do a TikTok? And it's not like it was in 2020, but like most platforms start out that way. And that's how people get big. Like Jeffree Star, for example, he was on MySpace, he was on YouTube. Like he was one of the first to start marketing on YouTube, right? And like to your point, I think the content also has shifted to like what is like, performing well, or what the platform starts to bake into their algorithm to prioritize. What we're seeing today is like shop content is getting prioritized in the algorithm, which
versus like organic.
Exactly.
Because what is TikTok, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. Like, what are they going to get from GregToks doing like a silly little video with a sound?
Well, they were before getting users, right? Like,
You make a great point, which is why I think that we were rewarded with those views and that growth.
Just to get acquisition on any type of content.
Oh my gosh, like, did you see this new Mommy Talks video? No, I didn't, but what's TikTok? And then they get them to join.
Yeah.
But now it's like everyone and their mother knows about TikTok, so it's not like there really needs
to make the money, I guess.
To be that. They do need ad revenue.
Right.
But I think in the same point, it's turning people away.
Right.
Because I won't lie, like Facebook or even Instagram, like when they did away with the chronological order and everything became like sponsored, or like you would just start to see ads, it like totally turns me off. Mm-hmm. And if I see someone promoting something on TikTok, like, I will not buy it.
Same.
Like, it's just a matter of principle. And then sometimes I'm like, are you really kidding me? Like, you're promoting this?
Yeah.
You know?
I know. They're like, this duster vacuum is like so great. And you're like,
Is it?
house
Yeah.
with your parents.
Like, do you ever see the Chinese woman that like comes up on your lives and she's like, showing like, and she's like, I guess she makes like tens of $1 millions a year over there, and she'll just like show a T-shirt and like throw it. Like, it's just like consumerism to the nth degree. I kind of just wish that it would go back to kind of how it was, and the sense of like organic. And sometimes I think maybe I'm just not that funny, which there's some truth to that.
No, I think
if it's-
you got 7 million views.
yeah, it's not hitting. It's just not hitting.
You
And
have million. I never got 7 million ever.
yeah, and one of mine did 4, and then like another did 5, and it was great. And I also think like TikTok for a while was really stressing long form content when they switched to like 2-minute videos.
Yeah.
Because I think like when it first started, like it was like 15 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was.
And then it became like, now you're seeing everyone like almost having a relationship with or some form of relationship with their viewers, where they're talking to them directly.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what's crazy about that is like, I think a lot of the people who are on there are like, they're starting to like try to create this like YouTube feel where like, you used to watch people on YouTube and these vlogs and stuff like that. And then TikTok like veers away obviously from, this short form space that they were like so niche in. And like, I think I don't ever watch a 10-minute video, our ability to make a 10-minute.
I think bring back short form.
Yeah, just keep it what it is. Like keep it what you're great at.
I mean, there were like those episodes, like I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, it was a woman and it was something about like her husband like cheating on her, and it was like a 10-part scandal, and it was like had everyone everyone was like so into it for the week, like,
yeah.
And then people in turn made videos about that TikTok.
Well, what's interesting,
like me watching the video.
Did you follow her from that?
No.
Yeah, none of us followed it, but we consumed it.
That's a great point. And I think that when, again, TikTok kind of first started, like there was, I would get like thousands of followers per video, and now like following isn't really a thing.
No.
Because it doesn't need to be. Yeah. Because your For You page is going to show you what you want to see anyways.
I don't think that followers have ever been a like monetary value on TikTok, like, which is really interesting because I think that engagement rate actually changed after TikTok. A lot of people in the social industry like don't really know this, but it used to be followers divided by your engagement, which is your engagement rate, because like 99% of the time it was showing to your follower base. And it's changed because of TikTok to impressions or your engagement, which I love, right? Because now it's saying like there's so much more opportunity beyond your followers, in that it's not always your followers that you're reaching every single time. So I think the follower base has actually become a little bit less valuable in this day and age than it did before. And TikTok, I think, really shifted that. Because how many people you follow? Really?
I mean,
I've never really actually
I still follow that guy that like lives in the woods and like makes like fires or something, just like someone from 2020, but I never see his videos. I'm not gonna like be hyped to see his content or whatever. I literally don't even know his name.
Do you ever use the Friends page, or you stick on For You?
I go on Friends sometimes, but my friends that I follow or that follow me back, like they pop up on my For You page too.
Same.
So it's almost like, what's the point? One question I did have was, what are your thoughts on the creator fund or lack thereof?
It's been trash, to be honest with you. I think that
I was so hyped when they came out with that.
We take a bug spray.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting bit. Are you?
Neither am I. Well, I get sprayed for mosquitoes. Okay, so you might see us with mosquitoes, people. I'm
getting
the
bit.
other part of it out. But my mosquito guy, like, you're fired. Okay, like you are fired. Okay, but the creator fund is trash, and you left it. Why did you?
Yeah, because it was stifling the views.
It was.
I remember like when TikTok was going like this, and then like kind of on the ascension, and then the creator fund came out, and like they didn't like want to pay you, so your videos, instead of doing like 30K, would do like 3K.
How much did you make on a video max?
On a single video, I think the math was like $50 per million view.
So I almost left the creator fund because you did it. you left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought my views were going down, and your views went up after you left.
But yours, you were steady though. Like I feel like your page grew under the creator.
I think that there were moments that I was definitely held back by TikTok, like purposefully, because I was in the creator fund, and I definitely saw it.
Yeah.
And I think that that was their way of gauging, like, we don't really want to pay your ass more, like, and we're not at the point yet that like we know what we're doing, or like I don't know. That's my theory on it, but I should have left.
Also, one thing too, like not with the creator fund, but just with brands reaching out, GregToksPR@gmail.com. Like when I first started again back in 2020, 2021, I would get like so many brands wanting to, like legitimate brands, like US based brands that or European based brands that like wanted to partner, and they would offer real money, real goods for like, a 10-second brief or whatever it might be to get on the page, because they were like, oh my gosh, 25,000 followers. It was like a big deal back then. And now I just get spam. It's scams. It's all scams. Like I should show you some of the. It's like not even it's like in broken English.
Yeah.
It's like a link.
Like, hey,
it's like a phishing link.
Literally, my phishing training from my work has never come in more handy since with TikTok. I'd be like, hey babes, want to check out this deal? And you'd be like sketchy, like link that I'd be like, I'm not clicking on that.
Yeah.
Like inbox right now, I probably have like 22,000 emails.
Wow.
It's crazy. Couldn't even name one that actually resonates with my brand. All of them are just straight up spamming me, like saying like, oh, we want to partner with you and give you literally like this ugly sock. Like, would you promote that to your followers? And in exchange, like, you literally would get the world-class ugly sock.
It's like it's not monetary.
It's not monetary, and it's literally nothing I've ever heard of, and no value to me. And, I do see people actually doing it. That's the wild part. Actually, I have one that you are going to remember that was BS.
What's that?
The coldest water bottle.
That was like a thing for like a year. Like I remember
one of the only
you'd be like talking to people and they'd just be like, hi, welcome to my page. Like, okay, we got it.
This water.
And I don't even think they were paying.
They asked me to do 7 videos for $100 and a free coldest water bottle. I'm like,
7.
So if I break that down, like,
so you're giving me 7. You're giving me like, I can't do math.
No, I can't either, but it's definitely nothing. Like you're reviewing the back and forth of brands, right? It's at $100, right? Like it sounds good in theory, better than nothing. But I think people were so stoked that like some brand reached out to them, and it switched over like what influencer culture used to be, where it used to be valuable when a brand reached out to you, and all of a sudden TikTok comes around and people are getting views for the first time, right? Like millions of views for the first time, and they're like, a brand reached out to, I'm going to take whatever they give me. And it's devalued the space, right? Like $100 for 7 videos would never happen before the TikTok ever.
I just feel like I'm curious to see where the platform goes, because it is, I mean, the word is oversaturated. There's too many people on it. And I think it was like half of all Americans or something ridiculous, 60%. It's like 170 million people. Like that's a lot of eyeballs. And at the same time, it's like you're going to need creators to fund that. And I think that there needs to be more than just like, they need to allow growth for more than just people with blue check marks or whoever,
Happens on so many platforms too.
Because if you're only getting 800 views, you're going to just be like, this is a waste of my, like, I'm not going to continue to post.
Exactly. And I think that's by design in a sense, because I think, they want people to control the message in a sense, like, and that's why they want certain people with like influence to be the ones out there. And TikTok kind of, made it possible for like anyone to be on there for the first time in a while. And it was like one of the only platforms that allowed to get your voice out there and anyone to kind of get their voice out there, which is why people love it so much.
Yeah.
My question to you is, do you think it's going anywhere? You think it's getting banned in the US?
I don't.
Not at all?
I don't, because I don't know the technicalities of where the servers are and who owns what. And I know that there was a House vote for that to happen, but there's too much money involved. And when there's money involved, it makes things a lot more difficult. And I think it would anger a lot of, I don't even want to say younger generation, because TikTok has all sorts of people on there, young, old, of all backgrounds. I don't think it'll get banned, but I do think that just like everything, it'll fade away, and there'll be a new app or a new social media platform. How many people still use Instagram? I know I do.
Yeah.
For like, I post on like my stories and stuff, but like, I'm not really posting like on my grid as much anymore. Or like Facebook. I can't remember last time I made a Facebook page. Like, the only reason I have Facebook is like for people's birthdays.
Yeah.
And to see like what my cousins and family are doing. Like, I just think like it'll start to do that. And I also think that the downside of TikTok is it's really hurt people's productivity. Not product, well, yes, productivity, but like attention span. Like, I'll be with friends and they'll like not even be able to watch a movie
Yeah.
or like finish a book. You know, it's
true. But also, I think it's definitely like improved my communication skills.
yeah, no, it's obvious. Yeah.
Like, well, on the creator side, right? Like, we were having to be forced to deliver like a message in like 30 seconds. And so, like, you know, you're in sales, making a pitch in like a really short amount of time and like selling something and like conveying a story in 30 seconds. Golden salespeople can do that. But at the same time, I totally get your point, and I agree with you in terms of like consuming the content. It's like changed the landscape of consuming content. Now, every single time like someone has a video, you saw me today, I was like, get to the point. Give me what I need.
Give me what I need.
Yeah, it's probably created a bunch of impatient human beings,
It
but
has.
it's
I just miss the short form content.
Yeah.
I think that's me. Like, I remember just like scrolling and be like a 10-second video. Haha.
none of them are funny anymore.
No.
I'm like,
they're
give me
not.
the funny moments.
Also, I also think that a lot of like negativity is being pushed too.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's like political. I never remember seeing like news stories on my TikTok feed. That kind of goes back to like all these companies being on TikTok now, like whoever, like NBC or Daily Mail or CNN, whoever it is. Like,
You know, I always say this from like the brand perspective, like no one wants to follow your brand to like see what you have to say. They want to learn something, they want to be educated. As brands, like they need to like, you either need to be educating or entertaining someone. Like, let the people who are champions for your product like sell, right? And I think that's where a lot of companies like fail when it comes to social media. They're on there just being like, here's our white paper. Like, no one cares, right? Duolingo. They just like crush the game, right?
Scrub Daddy. That's what it is.
Scrub Daddy's another one. They really came in, took advantage of the platform and said like, we can make the messaging to match what the people want versus like what the brand wants to push on people. You know, social managers, they don't have the like resources to push up to their upper management to cut that out. Consumers don't like it.
I also like can't stand when brands comment on creators' video or just like normal people's videos and they're like, "Slay Queen." I know it's like a 28-year-old, or not to like generalize that that'd be a social media person that is that young, but like, I know it's just someone at the brand doing that, but it's like, just stop.
No, but to be fair,
This is like not. This
someone
is
really young.
I remember like some celebrity joined it. It's like, this isn't for you.
Oh yeah.
Like, no, actually, this is for us peasants.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to be in this space with us. Like, no, go back over to Instagram and get out of here. Like, this is like the Wild West. Like, get out of here. I think it was Justin Timberlake. It was one of those people. We're like, go away. They're not. What are you doing?
Brands are kind of like that now. Like, they kind of are like that now. It's honestly, the sad part is it is probably someone young who is commenting like "Slay Queen" or like, something like that. And that's when you actually need to stick to your brand voice and like only engage in opportunities that like make sense for your brand instead of like that, or it could be a PR issue. And I mean, a lot of companies also hire social media managers way too young. It ends up being a PR crisis. They'll be like, oh, social media is that fun, like intern job, or like, and it takes a lot of serious skills. Like, it takes like communication skills and like brand skills. And I think it's actually one of the hardest like marketing areas to be in if you know how to do it properly. Like, your reaction is exactly what majority of people's reactions probably are. Like, that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like, it is. It's just not the like right like tone of a brand to have, unless it was like trying to think like what brand that would be appropriate for. Like,
for what? Say
like maybe Jeffree Star.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think he's doing TikTok right because Yeah, he's a brand, but he's like 100% like authentic and like honest with his reviews. And he's funny. Like he's engaging. I think I saw that video the other day. Like someone's dad was filming him on an airplane and like sitting in economy.
Yeah.
He's like, baby, you guys are worried about my financial situation? That's how you stay rich. Is you don't spend your money. I don't know. I just,
Did you see him in that, like, in the chair?
yeah.
He was like literally couldn't be caught.
That was funny. I'm interested to see where we'll go this next year. I want to try more with my page. I just don't know like what direction I want to go in because I used to do the sounds and all that. And like, I used to like work on a video for a couple hours and it would like get like 200,000 views. And it, like, I felt like that was worth it. Like, it was great. And,
do that and you get like spree.
And it's like, I get like 300 or like, it's like, okay, it's been an hour and like one person.
You could sell like acrylic nail polish on TikTok shop and see if you get
GregToks. You have that from Kim.
Just from China.
Full on, just like mail it in.
What's crazy is they'll offer like coupons that are like Temu style. Do you notice that?
No.
They'll literally be like, here's $50. Spend it on anything you like. And I'm like, is this
on Temu?
No, like TikTok shop.
What is Temu?
Temu is literally like Alibaba rebranded.
What's that?
Have you actually looked at Temu?
No, I just heard it's like really, really cheap.
There was like creepy, weird stuff on there. Like, I'm gonna have to show you.
Yeah, you'll have to show me.
Because I was wondering what it was, and it was like pick like 6 free items. I'm like,
free?
yeah. This reminds me a lot of fast fashion, but like with everyday stuff.
I just think like we are so unbelievably in like hyper consumerism.
Yeah.
Like I think there's one girl that I follow and she's definitely doing it for views, but she has like her Stanley and then in her Stanley she has like she's like come take a walk with me and it's like the Stanley and she has like she puts like the charger in there, the hand sanitizer,
like, that goes around
the thing that goes around the snack tray. It's like come on.
Yeah.
Like,
she's like I've been watching those lately.
I am a sucker for when they're like
yeah.
and I will watch if you do this.
I don't know if you've been targeted by this like niche of TikTok, but keyboard TikTok.
What's that?
Like people who are like I didn't even know this was a thing until TikTok, which I don't even know why I keep getting targeted by like ASMR keyboards. Like people who type on creamy keyboards. And like they call it like talkie keyboards. Talkie. Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's like a thing. They're like, oh, this is like, they make the switches. They have like it's a community. They have like, meetups. But I didn't even know it was a thing. I had no idea.
I feel like we should go through our feed and just see how much stuff is like sponsored.
We'll have to do one where
like we'll just do a tab.
Literally be like sponsored, TikTok shop.
I saw someone the other day where he was like a musician. He's like, love hearing my song on the radio for the first time, and then the lower left it's like sponsored because that's what record labels will do now is no longer gone are the days of like putting out a single and like doing a tour and like promoting it on radio and doing like late night shows. Now it's like everyone's like seems to be making music like for TikTok.
Yeah, it's true.
And then so it blows up on TikTok. Yeah. Just have that sample. Remember that Sam Smith song like with the Impetrous? I don't know. I forget what it was, but it was some song like that, like Meghan Trainor. You can tell that they're making the music for TikTok in short form, content. Just so like people will listen to it. And then you listen to the song, it's like the song sucks because you've only heard 10 seconds of it. But I guess what I was saying is like record labels will like not sign you unless you blow up on TikTok. But I've noticed like some of these artists will be like, my record label like won't release my single unless I got 50,000 likes. It's clearly a marketing ploy.
Well,
like they're using TikTok to like promote their music.
Speaking of this is an example of how inauthentic it is. I got paid once to literally use it as a background sound. And I just made a video of me like walking through Target, like looking at baby stuff. And I put the music down to literally like, deprioritize the music. And I got paid $150.
To just put the music on?
Yeah, which I think it was to your point for like views, with the sound used because it's a type of growth hacking, which is it does nothing because no one's consuming your song because it's so low they can't hear it. So what a waste, right? Like what a stupid metric for these people to be like, well, until you get 50, well, they know how to hack that, okay? Like it doesn't mean that I like your stuff.
I'm also interested to see like what happens to like all of these like TikTok stars that were big during the pandemic that are now Like some of them have really translated like into other things. But some of them haven't. Like you look at like the D'Amelio family.
Their show kind of flopped.
Yeah, flop. They had a Hulu show, then like did like a Dunkin' commercial, and then like that was it. And then all the other ones, like what are they, the Hype House or something like that? Like what are they doing?
They had a partnership with Morphe, and I was like, who are you?
are they getting into acting? I would say the only one is like the what's the blonde guys, the Paul brothers, Jake
Yeah.
Paul. But they started on YouTube.
Yeah, they were on different platforms.
They were on different platforms, and like they just have TikTok.
That's
But
the
it
only
wasn't.
way you
That's not how they blew up. And now they're doing boxing and all that stuff, and they're doing really, they're very successful. Yeah, I'm interested to see like kind of where these people will go because like gone are the days of the bring back dancing videos. Bring back.
to watch Dancing with the Devil.
Okay, so what is that?
Basically, it is a documentary about the like early days of TikTok where a lot of the dancers were on there. You will definitely recognize some of them. They're still on there. But apparently they were in a cult that basically was managing their TikToks and they were getting paid like nothing, but they got like free living and like they were like part of a church cult.
Definitely have to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty like crazy because some of them are still like in it. They have like Toyota commercials and stuff like that. But they didn't see any of that money, only the church did that like they signed with.
That's oh my god, that's like so 2024. It's
Yeah, like
painful.
it's kind of like weird.
A church that they signed with.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's like church shit. I'm like, that does not sound real.
So what's the future for New Mommy Talks?
Well, so like I think I'm opening up more to like why I was on TikTok to begin with. Because a lot of people I think probably didn't know like that I was in social to begin with.
Yeah.
And that like I didn't really like ever have a passion of like being a creator, that I like really wanted to just like learn it so that way I could like integrate it into like, my experiences in social and like bring it to the table in my professional career as like hey, I could definitely like see this perspective differently. And I am going to be talking a little bit more about that and like what I think people should be doing in terms of if they wanted to get into being a creator, like what they can expect. Is what I've seen in the mom space is that, there are a lot of like pyramid scheme like things targeted at moms who want to be remote now, and they're not profitable.
Hey, boss babe.
Yeah, like, oh, you want...
Hey, girly.
One of them is actually like being a TikTok creator or affiliate marketing. And, you see these people come out, they're like, I made $8,000 this month. Yeah, but like, what'd you make next month? What did you make your year?
Okay, you made $8,000.
Yeah.
How much product did you buy to make $8,000?
Exactly. Like,
you spent $10,000 and you got $8,000 back, so you lost $2,000.
Let's get your P&L. Let's get your, entire like.
Yeah, there's one thing I don't mess around with. It's MLMs. Like, I just think they prey on people, and they just. People are always trying to like make money or have a side hustle, which is great.
Yeah.
But like that's just not the way to do it.
There's one MLM out there that is a big target for moms, and I feel bad, right? Because like moms want to be home with their kids and they want to like be a part of their life, and they also want to contribute nowadays. Boss babe life, right? Like whatever that message is for like moms to be in the workplace. And there's this one pyramid scheme that is like, you want to make $10,000 a month, like take our $7 course. And the course literally teaches you to sell the $7 course.
We should register for it just to like, we'll do a documentary on it. We'll debunk it.
Show you guys why
I love where this is going.
Because like, then they'll be like, look, like how much money I made off of selling this $7 course that you also fell into and bought. So, it's just like really bad. So I want to like educate moms more. If you want to go into the creator space, it's not like go on TikTok shop, get all these free junk samples. Like it's actually like creating value for your audience. And, it's a grind. Like you got to get past that barrier to entry nowadays. Like it's not like when we started, you have to create value that's different than other people to be sustainable. And it reminds me a lot about sales, right? Like, okay, yeah, you can have a really good month, but the next month could be absolute trash. Like, it's not something to like quit your job over in a sense right now. Like, it's very similar to a sales job. It is not as similar to like a steady income like they make it out to be. And so like, that's what I want to educate more on, especially for moms who want to be remote, want to talk about my experience. It takes a lot of mental strength to like be on TikTok.
It does.
Or be an influencer at all. You've experienced that. You were really good at filtering comments because people are so mean.
Yeah.
And like you were doing fun comedy skits.
Yeah, people are losers. I mean,
Yeah.
like they hide behind anonymity and like I just don't care. Like
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious and like I would like give it back. But usually I would just like block. See ya.
Yeah.
Take care. Enjoy mom's
Like a little
basement.
bit like it does take a toll like after a while though when you do start to like read it or if it's like new to you you're like what the heck, right? Like there's so much that you have to go through that it's like not all as what people make it out to be, like how amazing this job is where I sit behind a computer and talk about how amazing all of the Mike Stanley Cup is. And
I'm excited to see where your page goes this year. And, you know, I know you're going to be doing the YouTube avenue, and I think that's going to be great. And you'll have your shorts, and you'll be growing that channel. But I think New Army Talks is not done yet.
It's not.
Hopefully. And
not,
you'll be focusing more on, we're pivoting. And I think Greg Talks will pivot too. And
Yeah.
it's been good to have a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And I do want to get back.
Observe.
Yeah, I got to observe, and I think I'm just going to have fun with it and see if there's, you know, videos that I want to make that resonate with me. So,
Well, thank you for coming on my
I think
podcast.
you're welcome. And hopefully this is like one of many episodes that we do.
I think it would be really fun to do a couple where we like go through TikTok. So thank you all for joining.
We'll see you soon. See you next time. Bye.